you're right. At the end of the day, there's a kid in Billings, there's a kid in Quad Cities, there's a kid wherever.
Right.
That you know in how many bedrooms, right? And now those kids, well, in a couple of years, when they're out of the house through high school, they still have that picture of them in Hunter Green.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that picture stays with them, and to the point where they're grandfathers. And they say, hey, you know, I used to know Hunter Green.
Yeah.
Remember him? He was a big time star.
Yeah.
Right? Kids who met Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There's no question. Right? To be able to have a picture with a Hall of Famer. How awesome is that? Right? How special is that?
No doubt about it. What can Major League Baseball, if there's one or two things, and like I said, not everything plays
Yeah.
at the big league level that it does in a more intimate setting,
Yeah.
this beautiful ballpark you have here. But what is Major League Baseball missing with that connection?
The fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
think you're
plain
right.
and simple, the
Yeah,
fun.
you're right.
Right? I'll give you a perfect example. You go to Houston, and they have this giant train,
Yep.
right, in the outfield, above everything.
Yeah. Left center field.
Left center field,
Yeah.
and when the Astros hit a home run, the train goes from center field to left field.
Yeah.
Right? Why aren't there kids in that train?
You're right. You're exactly right.
Right?
I'm sure it's a liability issue.
Right. Kids would love it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a great idea.
I've
been there 1,000 times, haven't thought of that. That's why you own a team, and I'm interviewing you owning a team.
That's what kids love. And the idea to have special experiences, how awesome would that be? In Milwaukee, right, where Bernie the Brewer
Yeah.
slides down the slide
Yeah.
when there's a home run.
Yeah.
What if kids could slide down that slide, you know, after a game?
I mean, you could line up and ask. You could give, if you did 50 of those a game, 30 of those a game, you could have 15 that are able to pay for it to raise money for a charity, and the
Sure.
other 15 let the kids go for free that couldn't pay for it.
That's exactly right. And now you're improving your business because you're attracting kids. You're giving kids a memory that will last a lifetime, and you're raising money for a charity. Right? That's a win-win-win.
But the fun, you're spot on. A lot of teams do a lot to improve their ballpark and the quote-unquote ballpark experience. But to be able to navigate that whole thing with the players, I think, is where they're missing it.
That's part of the fun. That's
Yeah.
part of the specialness.
Yeah.
Right? I tell my staff every day, whether they're in Montana or Quad Cities or Wilmington, Delaware, our job is we're not in the baseball business. We're not in the entertainment business. We are in the memory-making business. And our job is to make a memory for a young kid every night. And if we can do that, we've done something special with our day, right?
Yep.
We've really done something. And that's what we try to do. And if you can get a picture with Hunter Green, if you can get a ball signed by Hunter Green, if you can get a broken bat signed by Hunter Green, right? Or any of the other Red Stars who came through Billings, right? From Nick Swisher, I mean,
Yeah.
it could just keep
Todd
going.
Frazier, I saw he made his debut here.
He sure
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Um,
And that guy, years later, becomes a home run derby champion. So
George
some kid
Brett
here, right.
made his career here.
Oh,
He
did he
started
really?
here.
No kidding.
George Brett,
Yeah,
Hall
it's
of
not
Famer.
a bad player.
Right?
Yeah.
For people who met him, how special is that? If they got a picture with George Brett, they will keep that picture for the rest of their lives.
That's exactly right.
How cool is that?
The Jim Riggleman thing, how did that happen?
Jim Riggleman happened because my team in Quad Cities is a Kansas City Royals affiliate. And I'll tell you this, I've had the privilege of having 10 different minor league affiliates, major league affiliates, with my clubs. I've owned 6 different minor league clubs over 20 plus years, and we've had a total of 10 different major league affiliations. The Kansas City Royals are really special. They're a great organization. Dayton Moore on down.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I had reached out to them and said we were looking for somebody to help coach our team at Billings, and I wanted to bring in somebody who had some major league experience. And they put me in touch with a fellow named Mike Toomey. wonderful guy who was a special assistant to Dayton Moore, the club president. He had just retired and was looking for something to do on a part-time basis. He agreed to come here and coach with us, and one of his closest friends in the world is Jim Riggleman. And so Mike Toomey says, I'll coach for your club, but do you have a manager yet? I said, no, we don't have a manager yet, we're working on it. He says, well, I got a guy, how about Jim Riggleman? I said, Jim Riggleman, really? 5-time Major League manager?
Right.
Right, managed with the Cubs, managed with the Reds, managed with the Padres, like, stop it, really?
Yep.
And he says, yeah. I said, I think he might be interested in doing it. He wants to talk to you. I said, okay, put him on the phone. Like, let's go. Let's do it right now before he changes his mind.
Right. That's a great story.
Yeah.
What's the future of this whole minor league thing? You know, so what happened a couple of years ago, 40 teams get basically cut out of the pie.
43.
43. Thousands of players. Does it swing back the other way? Where do you see it going?
I hope it does. I sincerely hope it does, right? It doesn't make sense to me for the Cincinnati Reds or any other major league organization for that matter, but if you're the Cincinnati Reds and you have 180 minor league players under contract, 116 of them, if you max out your roster space, are going to your AAA, your AA, your high A, your low A clubs. That leaves 64 other players. Those players are going to be going to Goodyear, Arizona, and they're supposed to be playing there. Well, last I looked, Arizona in July and August.
I lived there 13 years. It's rough.
It's rough. It's like
rough.
120 degrees.
Yes.
And to have them playing on back fields with chain link fences in front of no fans at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning to beat the heat, I just don't believe that's the best way to develop a player. I think they'd be better off if they sent those players to places like Billings or Missoula, where you have 3,500, 4,000 screaming fans on a Friday, Saturday night, watching them play in 85-degree weather, in front of a packed house, in a community where that's really going to help grow the game. And
help grow the kid.
And help grow the player. Exactly right, what I was just going to say.
Right.
Give the player a better atmosphere in which to develop. And on top of all that, it would save Major League Baseball money, which is what they like to do, right? Instead of them paying to house the kid and feed the kid and clothe the kid and bus the kid, and if they need to, put a hotel for the kid. We'll take care of the hotels and the buses and the clothing and the feeding and the housing. Give that to us. We'll take it on. I mean, that also should be a win-win for everybody. So, yeah, I am relentlessly